Welcome. Well, we've spent the night here at this lovely little free park up right at the bottom of Humber Lane. We are near the Humber Estuary and we'll just show you what's around. It's lovely and quiet here. So we've got the Humber Estuary to his left and you'll see a dead sperm whale that unfortunately washed up a few months ago. And today what we're going to do, we're going to go for a walk to the bottom of Spurn Point, just over there. You can just perhaps see it in the distance. It is a nature reserve and we're going to go to the Visitors Centre and see what's around. Go on, Katrina.
Good view up there, Dave. So this is just us way out of the car park.
Continue for 3/4 mile.
It's a bit potholy.
It's a bit bumpy.
Bit like if you're a bit of a nervous person.
And it's also a single track, so you just got to hope that there's no coming.
I hope we don't meet anyone.
Otherwise you're reversing quite a way.
One thing I don't like is middle. It's quite high. So I'm always thinking about, you know, the sump on the vehicle.
Yeah.
But we've got away with it in and out, no bother.
It's quite a way off here. It's about 3/4 mile. Single track, something like that. Quite a way into it.
I think it's about 0.8 of a mile in that region.
Right.
It feels like further.
Yeah, goes on for wild. There is a bit of a pumping station, and in some forums it says that you could hear noises, but we slept really well. You can hear a pin drop. It's just so peaceful there. And the pumping station didn't affect us and our sleeping anyway at all. Getting near a civilization now. There's a few passing points that you can use. Come to a little quaint little village as you're coming out of it. Lots of it all. A few bits and bobs, a few properties. So we're just on a little trip from where we stayed right up to Spurn Point. It's about 6 miles. Catch you when we're there.
We're at the Spurn Point Visitors Centre and we're just learning a little bit more about what we're about to see because we haven't seen it yet. This centre's dedicated to the visitation of Spurn Point and we did get wind of a bus service.
Yeah, they also do a safari where you can pay and you get took all the way down to Spurn Point, I think, and then you get to go up the Lighthouse. £22 for adults, I think it were. 3 hour trip.
Well, unfortunately the pay and display is out of order, so what we've had to do is go to the visiting centre just over there. Join the queue for the cafe, wait for 2 people to get coffee and cakes, and there were 4 people there, all seemed to be busy doing nothing, and £5 later we get the ticket, so that's a bad first impression for me. Hopefully the walk will compensate for that and what we're going to see will make up for it, but not the best start. So we just noticed there's a path near the car park down which it's got to be better than walking down the road.
Looks a bit overgrown, Dave.
Well, we'll see how it goes. Well, we're a bit overgrown, that path, so we're on the road now and you can see the free parking there. I didn't really fancy having our vehicle there, it's a bit large for the parking available. But it does look nice. Got the coast to the right. It's nice and clear, isn't it?
Yeah, it does look a bit cloudy though, like it's going to absolutely chuck it down.
Well, hopefully we'll be long gone before then.
Fingers crossed.
It's good to see a pop-top camper there.
Well, they've parked for night.
Yeah, got to have.
Naughty.
They actually parked and made it a bit harder for me to turn around when I drove down here earlier, amongst other people stood in the way and things.
Gonna get better, Dave. Gonna get better.
Poor start, but I agree with that. Okay, there's a few little rules. Dogs are not permitted, camping, etc. Rules, rules and more rules. Shame about the dogs. A lot of people have got dogs that want to visit, but it is a nature reserve. I don't suppose they want to import any predators. Oh, you can see the lighthouse there.
Looks a bit closer than what we've got to walk though.
Yeah.
No, as the bird flies, as the crow flies.
It's about 3 miles, isn't it, down this?
Yeah, there's lots of points, haven't we, I bet. Kids stuff, really.
Yeah. 3 miles down, same again back.
I thought it were about 3.7.
I don't know, it's probably longer, you know, to the car park. It does look nice, and we've got a good day for it. Bit of rubbish here.
The Yorkshire Wildlife Trust, empty your bins.
I know, I'm not picking it up.
Dog poo bags and
You can actually pick it up. If you're mug enough. There's a bit of a thing where you could have a, you know, advanced litter picker.
Who lives in a house like this?
Nobody, I believe, because it's cut off.
Warren Cottage. I think that there's somebody lives in it. Built in the mid-1800s and has a rich history. That's as much as it's telling us.
That looks to be popular with twitchers. I can see the coastline. And there's a hide just to my right. And it's getting ever closer. That lighthouse in the distance. Look what someone's created.
So good, aren't they?
Yeah, it looks really OCD, doesn't
I mean,
it?
that one's quite an easy one because it's all like sort of, well, the big stones, aren't they?
Yeah.
But some of them, how they balance them together, it's unreal.
You think these are military
Quite possibly.
equipment, you know, what's been taken by the sea. I have to walk a bit nearer to find out. You do have to check the tides if you're visiting here. Today's a good day. I think it comes in at about 6:30, so we've got loads of time. Well, it's not even dinner time yet. Well, it's my best guess that this is for mounting a cannon on, so we'll call it a gun turret. And there's a similar one up there. Dead fish. And this is the other one, exactly the same construction. It's quite a few concrete structures and even a bit of brick. Probably all wartime defences, and another one there. Could have been robbed of its ironwork. We'll never know exactly what they were. So what treasures have you found?
I'm just drawn to this really like shiny white pebble, really.
Oh yeah.
And wash it off. It's amazing how, I don't know how that's created, isn't it? You know, so
I wonder
why?
what it is. Is it a piece of glass what's
Make
been
a
highly
nice
polished?
necklace, wouldn't it? Look.
Well, it seems there's bits of concrete as far as the eye can see. Must have been a really big military concern here. Everywhere you walk there's bits of concrete with ironmongery protruding out with it. They actually look like rail. It's good reinforcing. So there's obviously some vehicles allowed to visit here. We think we're in the tracks of the Safari vehicle, but we haven't seen it yet. We're just wondering what all these upended poles are for. And it's not apparent.
No. If anybody knows, pop us a comment.
Yeah.
We're curious.
I'd like to know. It looks like a pier going into the sea there. And again, it's intertwined with more concrete structures. So I think that could be the clue.
Could be, yeah.
As this were a coastal defence. I think we found one of the vehicles.
I found a defence weapon. Big catapult.
Driftwood. That Williams catapult.
That's it.
It's expensive driftwood. This must have been a point of attack, basically, you know, with it being right at the tip
There's loads of
of the
brick in
Humber
there.
Estuary.
Yeah.
It's the Humber side equivalent of Land's End. There's no shortage of driftwood here.
Make a lovely coffee table, that,
Yeah.
wouldn't it? It's a nice piece of
Got a
glass.
chimney
on top.
there. What's left of it?
That's a bit obscure, that lump. Don't go underneath that.
Yeah, I think you can see how it were constructed. Like bags, I'm guessing. Like bags of concrete in a wall. Goes on for a while. There's a lobster pot there, Katrina.
I don't think
If
there's any
you get
lobsters
it
in
and
it
put it
though.
on eBay, somebody will want it. Good find. Crab's claw.
Try a bit.
It might be off. We're getting nearer anyway.
Hang on. Treasure. Treasure.
So interesting
Let me
rocks.
show you.
You can just about see the boats are coming into view. So that's good. I think we've took the hardest route in, as in walking on the sand all the way. There is a road way back which I think we should do.
Well, we'll get to see the other side then.
So we get to see the other side. I did find out that there is a pillbox near where we parked.
What's one of them?
It's like a military defence. It's meant to be in really good nick, so fancy having a look at that before we drive off.
Oh yes.
Well, that lighthouse seems to have took a while to get to.
My legs are dropping off.
Yeah, it's not the easiest terrain. We've worked hard, but there is a pillbox there. I just want to have a quick look at that, see if it's worth a carrot.
I'm gone dizzy.
Not good, is it? It's pretty intact, I'd say. It looks to be. Let's have a look round. There must have been more of these which got eroded.
I've come to see you, but you'd gone.
Yeah, you can actually get into it, I suppose. Where's the door? There is no door. Maybe it were there.
You have to feed yourself through that little porthole.
If you post yourself through, are you willing to be posted through for the
No,
benefit
thanks.
of this video? No, I'm not sure if I'm going to go that far. Yeah, I'm going to hazard a guess that there may be a door this side. But this bit seems to have collapsed, so we're probably looking at a partial structure.
You're too old for this.
It's my turn yet. We're going to... You can go in this lighthouse, you know, if it's open. I hope it is. And we're in luck, it's open. Pulling a crowd.
When I do the most I've ever got on the weekend was 47. It's gradually gone.
So it's £4 to go up in the lighthouse, and we've chose not to, as we've been up a few before. This is where the RNLI houses are, I believe. As we get near the bottom, it's like these are remnants of Spurn Fort. It was actually a medieval port once upon a time, I did read. There's no mention of that on this tour so far. I think the whole thing's kind of eroded over the centuries. That looks like another pillbox there, another sea defence.
It looks like this is part of the fort though.
All part of the fort.
Yeah.
So there is actually a lifeboat crew stationed, and once upon a time, I think it was about 10 years ago, wasn't it, we were told, where the road washed away. Oh yeah, you can interact with these with the QR codes. This is where they stored the guns. Let's see what the cash is today, if we can get in. Been cleared out. Rifled.
At least you can come in.
Rifles rifled. That's the 9.2 inch gun. This is getting interesting. Humber lifeboat station. It's like a ghost town. I found out it pays to be a member of this, but we don't know what it costs. Basically everything's for now if you pay your money here. And we found the Unimog. There is a jetty, but we can't walk down it. All these old buildings.
It's a bit eerie and weird.
It is eerie, yeah. It's like dilapidation, isn't it?
It's a bit like that thing that he did, that Darren Brown, that about zombie apocalypse. Like he dropped it off in a place
film
like
it
this
here,
and
couldn't you?
filmed you in it, yeah.
Out in there of interest.
Rotten floor.
You're surrounded by sand.
Can't get up there.
No, you can't, can you?
You can't.
I think you would have been able to. We found a surprise pillbox. So we'll see if we can get in it. I want to go in one today. If this is the one, we may not bother with the other. I'm going in alright. There's a building there and there.
Watch out for lobsters.
It's been full of water.
Side here.
There's a lot of sand in it. It's either blown in or being washed in. Wow. Brilliant. You can see where the machine gun went. What's the viewpoint like? I suppose it would have been better back in the day when it was built. So I'm guessing these would have been the the barracks associated with it, with these defences. You can see the fireplace there. Let's have a look in the other one. Bit of a sandstorm's occurred.
That's been well crapped on.
It has been well crapped on.
Christ.
We just realised here, we thought we were at the point, but we're not. The point's down there, so we've got a bit more walking to do.
Great.
Katrina's overjoyed about that. Another building here, Katrina. She's not focused. Well, we'll go have a little look. The flies around here seem really aggressive. It's a gun emplacement. Ooh. And we've made it to the point. There's a good distance board there. Land's End, 348 miles. We're on the Humber side, Land's End. As you can see, Katrina's impressed.
Yeah, I've got to walk back.
Nick Bell, thanks for the bench. Oh look, Katrina, it's the Unimog, full of bus anchors. Do you remember that In-Betweeners episode? There they are. It's only a 2.6 mile walk left. And a bit extra to the car park.
What I do?
Oh yeah. Well, at least we get our steps in. Unlike those bus boys. So I think we've walked up the beach the right side. Anyway, it's like they're replanting the seagrass here. It's just a big sandy oblivion on the other side. Oh, I think we're going to soon reach the bit where it's tidal. And this was the road. It must have had its slippery end around 10 years ago. So the Unimog takes this path. And so shall we. And the good news is we're not going to need to use the high tide shelter. I was expecting it to be larger than that actually. I can cross the beach quite happily. Well, that was an interesting day out. I think if I were to do that again, I'd definitely take a bit more in the way of provisions. When you get to the bottom, there is nothing. It would be nice if there was somewhere you could buy a drink or something at the bottom, but there isn't.
Yeah, make sure you get packed up, get your sandwiches and bottles of water and stuff, and you'll be away. Sun's been shining, it's been a nice day. If you're into walking and nature, give it a try. Yeah, you've got to be a keen walker, because we gathered that not too many people walked all the way there and all the way back. Yeah, it was surprising. We were seeing people and thinking, they're a bit infirm, how have they managed to get all this way? And then they were getting off that Safari bus. What you like? Terrible. Right. We were impressed at first, and then we kind of worked it out later that they'd gone on the Unimog there and back. But yeah, on to the next destination. Many thanks for watching, and why not subscribe to see more fun and games in the future. Land that time forgot. See you later. Painted on jeans. was the queen. I'm going like Jay McDonald, but
You are.
the final songs.